Hello, this is Solomon Davis, Right Side Trader. Today is August 6, 2023. It's my weekly market review where I'm reviewing the Russell 2000 on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only, no trade recommendations here. As we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading, so please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other and make sure trading is something that is actually suitable for you. No trade recommendations here, just the view of the market, in my opinion, what I see happening out here and what could happen. Let's just take a quick look at the charts and see what's happening right quick. On the quarterly chart, the Russell is still looking strong on the quarter chart, and it's been fighting what I think is a top, and it's not like as strong as the other ones though. It hasn't reached its R1 for the year. It's been very fighting at this 2000 level, and I'm looking at a future contract. On this future contract, getting above that and staying above that. It may be above that at this time. We'll zoom in there right now, but every time it gets up there, it comes right back down. And we haven't had that big drop that some people are expecting. And I'll call it based on that on the other charts. As you can see, this is the monthly chart. It's just been going sideways. It's been trying to break out of that range, and it hasn't yet. Here on the weekly chart, also you can see I have this little bar. I stretched this out a little bit to cover these tops, and I'm going to draw some lines up in there too. But it hasn't been able to break through this range right here and go higher. And as you can see on the daily noise, how this thing has been just chopping here. I zoom in just a little bit here for the last couple of weeks, and almost 3 weeks now. 1, 2, 3 weeks. It's been just going sideways up here. Can't get above 2000 and stay above 2000, and hasn't really made that really drop below this level right here around this 1950 area. So, but let's go ahead and zoom on in and see what we see here on the picture. And let me maximize this chart. I'll start off here on the quarterly chart and stretch this up a little bit there and stretch this down a little bit. It's just like that. It's like, as we know, the Russell on the quarterly chart has been kind of like trying to trend up, but it's not really moving as fast as the other ones and all. It has, like I said, it hasn't reached this R1 level. It's fighting these tops. Let's go down to the monthly chart right quick, and we can see our stochastic is still trying to point to the upside. Let's go down to the monthly chart. On the monthly chart, as we can see back here years before, how the Russell tends to go sideways. It dropped down here in this range, and it's been having a hard time getting out of here. I'm zooming in a little bit here, and I just want you to see these are the tops that I'm talking about. It hasn't been able to get over. It's in this little range here, and I'm going to draw this range a little bit different when we get down here on the weekly chart. But as you can see, the stochastic is now at the top. We look like it is time for the Russell to have his red month. It had 2 green months, then usually a red month. So it's due just to see if it's going to actually happen. And those who are in seasonality know usually around August, September is usually down months anyway. So we got to kind of like wait and see if it's going to play out, or it might just do the opposite. You never know here in the markets and all. But we go with the probability what has happened in the past will again happen in the future and all. Now here on the weekly chart, what I'm seeing here is our stochastic is at the top. First of all, we did get across the R1 on the weekly charts on these monthly pivots and all. We very seldom get to an R2 level, and then we usually come down. We didn't quite get to that R2 level. Our range is a little bit below that, and what I want to do here, I want to kind of identify with this right here. I want to identify out. Let me just activate it. Let me do it that way. I want to make sure that this is at the top, and I want this right here, bottom side, to be at the top of this candle right here. That's kind of like the way I like setting my things up. And let me see if I just want to slide this down a little bit. Then I want to see if I can grab this in and slide it down just a little bit right there. So this is the range. Now this kind of better identify the area where I think the market Once it gets above here, we might be able to run. It may come back down and test this and then just go higher. But I don't expect that if it gets through this area to visit down here again. But that's what we have to kind of wait and see. But it's at a point where right now on this weekly chart, we also beginning to see a bearish pattern. This is a bearish harami and all. Oh, yeah, it's a bearish harami. Yeah, harami engulfing. Yes, I said engulfing. No, it's a bearish engulfing. These patterns. You just see the patterns and you just know it's a pattern. Bearish engulfing because this red candle is engulfing the green candle just barely. If we zoom in there, it's just barely doing it. And it's not engulfing the full candle. Sometimes people like to engulf the whole wicks. I just like seeing the body engulf the other body is what I want to see. And so we see that happening here at a top with our stochastic at a top. We didn't make it to an R2 level. So can we get that confirmation candle? That's what you're waiting for on the weekly chart. You're looking for this thing to not, make a higher high. You're looking for this thing to make a lower high on the weekly candle and a lower low on the weekly candle. But the other thing that's going against you, based on my rules, we still look like we're going to probably open above pivot. And if we're above pivot, we may stay above pivot, and this thing may go higher. So just keep your eyes on what's going on. Manage your trade according to your strategy and your plan, and do what you need to do. All right, let's go here and take a quick look at the daily chart. On the daily, what I'm seeing here, we got out of that. At least we went into that area and we got pushed out. And that's where this is where you take your short trades. You get in there. Your entry can be coming out of there, or your entry can be actually testing there and going back down. Or that's the way I like doing it when I'm playing my zones. And the thing is, though, as we can see, we haven't been getting the big drop like we kind of was expecting. This thing hasn't really failed that much. And here's an example of being above pivot, coming back down below pivot. Didn't play out the way I expected because, again, we're at a top. And that's why, again, if we're going to open up on the pivot, at a top, we might stay on the pivot here on the weekly thing. So this going to work. This can work for you if you're on that short side. You're under the pivot, opening on the pivot, and this thing drops down here to a support 1 level. But that's going to be about it. Because, again, this is my next level down where I think, this market shouldn't go below this. And I really don't think it should go below this level right here. And really right here at this support 1 level. It's about the same level of this where it had based at, and then it rallied for a little way into that level. And ever since it's been up there, it hasn't come back down below this basing area, and you really don't expect it to go below this basing area. And that's all I see. Again, that's all I really want to share on the Russell. Hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys are having a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next week. This is Solomon, Right Side Trader. Talk to you next week. Have a good one. Bye.